This demonstration is to show the new functionality for SER 8719. In this demo, we'll take a look at the changes made for sexual health education services in the following areas: search, reminders, associated services tab of the contact notebook, and the plan services tab of the case plan notebook. To begin, let's go ahead and open a new service provider search. The system will allow you to search for the new static sexual health education providers. To do this, we just need to select this provider in the service provider category dropdown. All other criteria will be hidden and the OK button will be enabled. When we click on the OK button, the search results will appear with the sexual health education service providers. Notice that the Create New Service Provider button is not available. This is because new sexual health educational providers cannot be created. Double-clicking on a service provider will bring up the Sexual Health Education Providers abstract. As with all other searches, we can search again. Notice that we see the same criteria as we did when we did a search. Also, when we select recent searches, it'll also show the search results. Now let's open up two cases. And we'll take a look at the new reminders that were added. In the first case, opening a client notebook, notice that the focused child is 12 years old. Clicking on the open reminder, there is a new reminder called Sexual Health Education Due Middle School. This reminder will show up when the focused child's age is between 10 and 12 years old, and they do not have an associated service of Sexual Health Education Middle School. The due date for this reminder is their 13th birthday. Looking at the other cases open client notebook, the focused child is 14 years old. Clicking on the open reminder, there is a new reminder called Sexual Health Education Due High School. This reminder will show up when the focused child's age is 13 or older, and they do not have an associated service of Sexual Health Education High School. The due date for this reminder is their 18th birthday. Now let's clear out the Sexual Health Education Due High School reminder. While doing so, we'll also take a look at what has been changed in the Associated Services tab of the Contact Notebook. To clear the reminder, let's head over to the Associated Services tab and create an associated service. First, let's select the date. Now, in the service category dropdown, there is one new value called Sexual Health Education Services, which we will select. In the service type dropdown, two values were added called Sexual Health Education Middle School and Sexual Health Education High School. These will be the only options available when the Sexual Health Education Services option is selected in the category dropdown. To clear this reminder, we will select Sexual Health Education High School. Notice that when the Sexual Health Education category is selected, in the provider frame, Service Provider is the only option available for selection. Also, the search binoculars become disabled. And in the provider name dropdown, users will have to select one of three static health education providers. These values are pre-populated by the system. Let's select Sexual Health Alternative Source. Last, to be able to clear the reminder, the child needs to be added to the On Behalf of grid and to the Service Recipient grid. Now that all mandatory fields are complete, let's go back to the reminder. We see that the high school sexual health education due reminder is no longer there. For the middle school child, The process to clear middle school sexual health education due reminder is the same, except you'll select the service type of sexual health education middle school. Now let's look at the case plan. Let's head over to the Plan Client Services tab of the Case Plan Notebook and open the Select Plan Client Services Participants dialog box. To start out, we'll create a non-sexual health service. When we select a non-sexual health service in the category drop-down, such as case management services, you'll see that in the provider section, all provider types are enabled. Now, when we go to the category drop-down and select sexual health education services, just as we showed in the contact page, you will see that in the type field, you are only able to select sexual health education high school or sexual health education middle school. Also, in the provider section, only service provider is available for selection. The search binocular is disabled. And in the provider name drop-down, users will have to select one of 3 static health education providers. Let's select a provider name and a service type, and then click OK. On the main tab, the provider frame works the same as in the Select Plan Services dialog. So we have showed you the new and updated functionality made for sexual health education services within the application. Functionality was added when searching for a sexual health education provider. New reminders were created for sexual health education if a client is in middle school or high school. And new functionality was added to the Associated Service tab of the Contact Notebook and to the Plan Services tab of the Case Plan Notebook for when a user selects one of the added sexual health services and one of the 3 sexual health service providers. So this will conclude the demonstration. Thank you.